Okay, we're just going to talk about the A major chord here. We've done this in class a bunch of times. It's basically just this one. We've got all three fingers sort of crunched together into the second fret there. And the low root of this chord is the A. So it's actually our second string there. That's the root of the chord. And the rest of them So what I'm doing here is I'm taking the D string, the G string, and the B string, and I'm fretting them all on the second fret, and that's our A major chord. Now you can strum this low E too. It just so happens that this low E string, that E is still in the chord. It's an A, a C sharp, and an E. So that E is still in the chord, but sometimes chords sound a little bit awkward when we have a note other than the root of the chord in the bottom. So it sounds a little bit more solid when we've got the A, which is the root of the chord, as the lowest note. So I'll show you the difference. Here's with just the low A string as the lowest note. And here it is when we include that low E string. So it just has that low extra note in it. Which like I said is fine, but sometimes it makes it sound a little bit awkward. So when you're strumming the A, you gotta kind of make that decision. Are you gonna strum toward this A string, or are you just gonna include the low E? So that's the A major. Okay, now we're going to talk about B major. It's the exact same shape as that A major chord that we were just playing, with these three exact strings fretted all in the same fret, just like the A major, except we're going to slide the whole thing up 2 frets, up here to the 4th fret, and then we're actually going to replace these fingers with these 3 fingers right here, like this. So we're basically just taking an A and playing it with our last 3 fingers, and then we're going to slide that all the way up to the 4th fret and make our bar right here on the low B. So just like the A major chord, this here on the A string, which is our B, is going to be the lowest note in the chord. So you do want to aim to strum that note as the lowest note. Just like with the A major chord, in order to make the low E string work with the chord, it has to be on the same fret in order to make that F sharp that's in the B chord. So that's a lot of extra work. That's a lot of extra work to go all the way down and get that F sharp there. So this is one of the reasons that it's good to be able to sort of aim your strum just for that low B and sort of forget about the low E string. You can also mute it. That's sort of what I'm doing right now. I'm strumming the whole set of strings, but you're not hearing the low E string because just the tip of my index finger is sort of muting it. Like that. Or you can just do the full thing. You know, you can include that low E string, which in this case at the 2nd fret is an F sharp. Really hard stretch, really tough stretch, but it's a good chord to be able to play. And just like when we get to some of the other bar chords, you can use that position for a lot of different chords up the neck. So that position is a good one to be able to stretch to. Okay, there's B major. Alright, hi everybody. We are going to be going over the minor chords now, so let's just start with the A minor. So before, when we had the A major, remember we started with this low A string as the root of the chord, right? That is the root of the chord, and the A major is going to sound like that. And of course we can add the low E if we want to. Now for the A minor, what we want to do is we want to actually take the two fingers here, and we're going to put them on the D and the G strings, and then on the second fret here, and then we're going to take the first finger, we're going to put it on the B string on the first fret, and that gives us our nice sad sounding A minor, all together with the low E in there as well. Alright, so now we're going to do B minor. B minor looks just like A minor, except it's 2 frets higher. So what we can do is we can take this A minor position that we've got and put it in the wrong fingers, put it in your last 3 fingers instead of the first 3. Then we're going to slide this up 1 fret, 2 frets, and then we put down our bar. And we've got a nice B minor chord. Now just like the A minor, the B is here on the second string. So the root of the chord is on the second string. But this F sharp, the low F sharp, still is in the chord. So we can use it. There's B minor. Alright, I'm going to do a little review on the major scale now. So the basic shape that we've been working on in class, we've been doing it here in C, so starting on the 8th fret of the low E string. And what we've been doing is we've been doing a 2-octave scale. Altogether it sounds like this. So the reason that I've been introducing it to you in C, and we've been working on it in C, is just to make it easy as far as the sharps and flats go. Some of you who play piano might know that C is the key that doesn't have any sharps or flats when we're talking about a major scale. So basically the notes that we're using are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. So that's why we do it in C. Really no other reason. It's just so that I can say to you easily which note that is. Oh, that's the 7 of the scale. That means it's a B. So that brings up an interesting point that we're going to be using more and more in at least my guitar classes. We're going to be talking about the scale degrees. So not necessarily what the notes specifically are, but what member of the scale they are. Remember, these are diatonic scales, which means that they are a 7-note scale. So it's 7 notes plus the octave. So the way we count that is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So those are the scale degrees, and we're going to be using that in a lot of different things. One of the things that's helpful about that is when we move the scale to a new key, right? If we move the scale, let's say we move it down to A down here, so we start on the 5th fret. In that case, the notes would change. They wouldn't be C, D, E, F, G anymore. They would be different. But the scale degrees remain the same. The melody that we're playing remains the same, just in a different key. So it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's the exact same arrangement of notes, just in a different key, just a little bit lower down on the neck. So here's the first octave. And here's the second octave. Major scale. Okay, so for the minor scale, just like we were using C, because all of the notes are just the natural notes, C, D, E, F, G, etc., we do a minor scale in A for the exact same reason. Basically, if you were to use all of the white keys, all the natural notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, that makes a minor scale with no sharps or flats in it. Of course, I had to make it a little bit more complex for everybody and throw a little bit of a monkey wrench into the whole system. The way that that works with no sharps or flats is what's known as a natural minor scale, but we've been using a harmonic minor scale. So we actually change it just a little bit from this to this. So for the first octave, so for the minor scale, remember, we can't actually just hang out in the same finger position like we did with the major scale. For this one, we do have to slide 1 fret, and that's between the first octave and the second octave. So the first octave goes like this. And then instead of sticking around here on the 5th fret, we actually have to go down to the 4th fret for the next one. So when we're starting on the G string here, actually going to be on the 4th fret here. Now we've got to give it a good reach to get back to the first octave. And there. Harmonic minor scale.